So this white ghost-like plant is known as Caputia tomentosa. And actually, when I first got this plant, it was known as Senecio haworthii, but that name has since been changed. So a lot of Senecio actually went over into Kleinia or Caputia. So they're in two different genera now. There are still some Senecios out there, some true Senecios, but yes, unfortunately, for those of us who are houseplant hobbyists, our plant names get changed all the time. So you can see I have this actually in a kind of whitewashed terracotta pot here, and I just really love that look. I also have another one growing in a shallow succulent container that has a lot of other white plants in it. But I just wanted to kind of show this one for what it's worth, and you didn't get distracted by the other white plants here. But this would tell me that this is a plant that's probably growing in some really, really intense sunlight. So this is native to the Cape provinces, so around, South Africa. And I'd imagine that because of the succulent nature, because of the white fuzzy tomentose nature, meaning fuzzy, of this plant, then it's probably getting a lot of intense light. I have this growing directly in my southwest facing window. The one that's actually growing in that kind of shallow container with all my other white plants, also growing within a southwest facing window. And these plants, they're pretty resilient, although sometimes if you kind of knock off like one of the leaves, then I would just actually like leave the leaf there, because I do believe that actually the leaf will start to regenerate again, provided that you knock it off around the meristem. So that's like the growing area. And so shaving it off as close to the stem as possible is probably going to be a good way for this to grow. Otherwise, you could actually propagate this by seed as well. Now, as far as fertilizing this plant, it could have a very conservative fertilizer. So most of these succulents and cacti, I'm giving more of a succulent or cacti fertilizer. So like a 1-2-2 or a 1-2-1, 3-4-7, 2-4-7, any of those. Doing it on a monthly to even a bi-monthly basis is going to be perfectly all right. Even skipping probably a whole year of fertilizing is going to be okay for these plants. I find them to be relatively slow growers, but it also could be because I go through a winter months, a fall and winter months, so they don't do a lot of growing. But they do have a tendency to kind of like grow and hang a little bit, so you just have to understand that they're not always going to be like so small and cute and diminutive, which is the case for, I think, a lot of succulents. A lot of them kind of stay that way for a while because they are slow growers, but then some start to kind of stretch out a little bit. But otherwise, I think this is a really show-stopping plant, to have something kind of this succulent and this white, this cocoon-like, which I think, for the common name of this plant, cocoon plant, I think it's like super, super appropriate. No humidity needs. I haven't had any pest pressures, although I'm sure if one of the mealybugs that came off like one of my other plants went onto this one, it would be happy as a clam sitting on this, and I probably wouldn't even like see the mealybugs because it kind of looks like, the plant. But otherwise, I haven't had any kind of pest pressures whatsoever from this. And what else can I say? But it's a joy to grow. And if you have the light for it, then I would definitely get this plant.